Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've sent over some really great stuff, this educational guide, checklists, even a flow chart. Looks like someone's getting serious about buying a home and these buyer representation agreements.
That's right, and it's fantastic you're digging into this. Our mission today is really to um, cut through some of the complexity. We want to highlight the absolute must-knows
Hmm.
before you sign one of these things. It's all about feeling empowered, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We're not just reading the guide back. We want those little nuggets, those key insights, like understanding the different types of agreements, what to really look for with commission stuff, and yeah, how to pick the right agent. Okay, let's dive in. So basics first. What is this buyer representation agreement? What's its actual job?
Well, fundamentally, it's a contract. Simple as that. It formalizes the working relationship between you, the buyer, and your real estate agent.
Mm.
It lays out duties, expectations, and crucially, how the agent gets paid.
So it's more than just a handshake deal like, yeah, help me find a house. It puts structure around it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They make sure the agent is, dedicated to working for you, finding properties, helping negotiate, handling the paperwork, which can be a lot. But it also signifies your commitment to that agent, at least for a certain time or property type. It's a two-way street.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so the guide mentioned different kinds, different flavors almost. What are the main types someone might see?
Yeah, there are basically three main ones you'll run into. First up is the exclusive buyer agency agreement.
Exclusive. Sounds serious.
It kind of is. With this one, you're agreeing to work solely with that one agent for a set period, like maybe 60 or 90 days.
Okay, like going steady with your agent, you can't really see other agents on the side during that time. What's the upside for the buyer then?
Well, the big advantage is you usually get that agent's full attention. They know you're committed, so they're likely to invest, serious time and resources into your search. They're all in.
Right, focused effort. Got it. What's number two?
That's the non-exclusive buyer agency agreement. This one gives you more flexibility. You can work with multiple agents at the same time.
Ah, playing the field a bit. So how does the commission work then?
Generally, the agent who actually finds the house you end up buying is the one who earns the commission.
Okay, keeps everyone motivated maybe. But is there a catch? A potential downside for the buyer?
There can be. Sometimes, because the agents know you're working with others, they might be a bit less invested. They might not dedicate quite as much focused effort, knowing they might not end up making the sale anyway.
Interesting trade-off. Flexibility versus maybe less dedicated service from any one agent. Okay, and the third type.
The third one is the property-specific buyer agency agreement. And it's pretty much what it sounds like.
Just for one particular house.
Exactly. The agreement is only valid for a single property you're interested in. If you decide against that house, or the deal doesn't happen, the agreement ends right there.
Okay, so that could be good if you're just dipping your toe in, maybe saw one listing online you want to check out with an agent, but aren't ready for a bigger commitment.
Precisely. It's very limited in scope. So really, you need to think about your own style. Do you want that one dedicated person, or do you prefer keeping options open? It depends on how you like to search.
That's a really key point, matching the agreement type to your own approach. Now, that checklist you sent, super helpful. Let's walk through some of those crucial things to check before signing.
Yeah.
First one listed is the agreement term.
Yes, absolutely vital. The checklist nails this. You need absolutely clear start and end dates. No ambiguity. Is it 30 days, 60, 90, maybe even longer? It has to be spelled out.
Why is that so critical? What happens if it's vague or like way too long?
Well, the risk is getting locked in with an agent who isn't working out for you. Maybe you're not clicking or they're not finding the right stuff. You don't want to be stuck. That's why the early termination clause is so incredibly important.
The escape hatch.
Exactly. You need to look for that. Does the agreement clearly state how you can end things early if you're genuinely unhappy with the service? What are the conditions?
Right. So you need to understand how you can break up, so to speak, if needed. What might those conditions be, typically?
Oh, it could be things like a major lack of communication, the agent not really showing you suitable properties after a reasonable time, maybe even ethical issues. But the specifics vary, so read that part very carefully.
Okay. Clear dates, clear exit strategy. Got it. Next big item on the list, commission structure. Always hot topic.
Commission is key. Now, usually, as the guide mentions, the seller pays the commission and it gets split between their agent and your agent. That's the standard model.
Right, that's what most people think.
Yeah.
But the guide warns that sometimes the buyer might have to pay. How does that happen?
It can happen. One common scenario is if you're buying directly from an owner, a for sale by owner, or FSBO, and that seller isn't offering to pay a buyer's agent commission.
Uh,
Or sometimes the commission the seller is offering is less than what you agreed your agent should receive in your buyer agreement. Your contract might say you have to make up that difference.
Whoa, okay. That's a potential surprise cost.
Good.
So the lesson is talk about all the money scenarios up front and get it in writing.
Absolutely. Total transparency, negotiate it, understand it, and make sure it's crystal clear in that agreement. No gray areas when it comes to paying your agent.
Makes sense. Okay, another point on the checklist. The property clause. What should buyers be watching for there?
Yeah, the guide gives a good heads up on this. Be careful if the clause seems really broad. This part defines which properties the agreement actually covers.
How broad are we talking?
Sometimes it might say the agreement applies to any property you buy during the term, no matter how you found it, even if your agent had absolutely nothing to do with that specific house.
Wait, really? So say I sign a 90-day exclusive agreement and then I stumble upon my dream FSBO house totally on my own near the end of that term. I might still owe my original agent a commission.
It's possible, yes, depending on how that clause is written. That's why you need to read it carefully and understand its scope. You don't want it to limit you unfairly.
Definitely something to scrutinize. Okay, next up. Compensation terms. Feels related to commission, but maybe more about specific situations, like open houses or talking to builders.
Exactly. It's about the practicalities. Let's say you walk into an open house on a Sunday afternoon and decide this is it. Or you talk directly to a new home builder's sales rep.
Yeah.
Your agent, even if they weren't physically there at that moment, has likely still done work for you, researching, advising, setting up searches. The compensation term should cover how they're protected and paid in those cases, reflecting the work they've already put in during your agreement period.
Ah, okay. So it acknowledges their overall effort, even if you found the specific place through a different channel while under contract. It ensures they don't just lose out completely.
That's the idea. It aims for fairness for the work performed under the agreement. Got it. And the last big checklist item, duties and responsibilities. This seems straightforward. What's the agent actually going to do for you?
Pretty much. This section should spell out the services. Are they actively searching based on your criteria? Setting up showings? Guiding you through offers and negotiations? Helping with the mountain of paperwork? Maybe recommending inspectors or lenders?
And crucially, communication, right? Like,
Yeah.
how often will you talk? How quickly do they respond?
Yes. Don't be afraid to discuss that up front. What are the expectations for communication? Getting on the same page early avoids a lot of potential frustration down the road.
Okay, super helpful checklist items. Now, the guide also had that flow chart, mapping out the process before you even sign. Let's quickly run through those steps. Step 1 seems obvious.
Yeah, step 1 is just deciding you actually want to work with a realtor. Recognizing you want that professional help for, let's face it, a huge transaction.
Right, you're hiring an expert. Step 2.
This is critical. Interview potential agents. Don't just pick the first one you meet. Talk to a few. Ask them questions. Like a job interview, but you're the boss. What should you ask?
Oh, things like, their experience in your target neighborhoods, their negotiation style, how they communicate, ask for references maybe, get a feel for them. Do you trust them? Do you connect?
Good questions. Okay, step 3. Ask to see the buyer representation agreement before they ask you to sign it. No pressure.
Absolutely. Get a copy, take it home, read it over carefully without someone hovering over you.
Which leads right into step 4. Thoroughly review all those key terms we just spent time on, the duration, commission details, termination, the type of agreement, all of it.
Exactly. Use that checklist. Go point by point.
And step 5 is key. Ask questions. If something's fuzzy or you don't like a term, speak up, right? Maybe even negotiate.
Yes, this is your chance. Clarify anything confusing. See if terms can be adjusted to better fit your needs. Remember, it should work for both of you.
Smart. Step 6, a modern necessity. Google the agent. Check online reviews, testimonials, see what other buyers experienced.
Definitely. Reviews on Google, Zillow, other places. They can give you real insight into how that agent operates, responsiveness, knowledge, ethics. Read the comments, not just the stars.
Good tip. Step 7. Sign only when you are 100% comfortable and confident with the agent and the agreement. No ifs, ands, or buts.
That's the bottom line. Don't sign under pressure. Feel good about it.
And then finally, step 8. Begin the house hunt. You can move forward with trust because you've done your homework and have a clear agreement.
Precisely. Now you have that foundation of clarity and trust to really start the search effectively.
Okay, so that's the agreement in the process.
Yeah.
The guide also had some final tips on just choosing the right agent overall. What stood out there?
Well, reinforcing step 6, really.
Mm-hmm.
Check those Google reviews.
Yeah.
The guide points out looking specifically for comments about responsiveness, negotiation chops, market knowledge, and ethical behavior. Those tell you a lot.
Yeah, digging into the actual experiences people shared makes sense. What else?
The value of personal referrals is huge. Ask friends, family, coworkers who they used and loved or didn't love. That firsthand experience from someone you trust is often gold.
Can't beat a good word of mouth recommendation. Anything else on choosing?
Yes, and this is important. Evaluate their communication style. The guide makes a great point. A good agent educates you. They don't just sell you.
Ah, that's a key distinction. You want a partner and advisor, not just someone pushing listings.
Exactly. Someone who takes the time to explain things, answers your questions patiently, makes sure you feel informed every step of the way. That's who you want in your corner.
And the guide even gave that specific example, right? Anil Agarwal in New Jersey, mentioning his experience, transparency, focus on education as a sort of benchmark.
Yeah, it served as a good illustration of those qualities in action experience, client-first attitude, availability, ethics, that educational approach. It helps paint a picture of what to look for.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what are the absolute must-do actions or key thoughts for someone facing one of these agreements?
Okay, number 1, take your time. Don't rush the signing. Read every single line. Understand it fully.
Got it. Don't get pressured. What else?
Number 2, don't be afraid to negotiate. If the term feels too long or a clause seems too broad, talk about it. It's a contract, and parts of it might be flexible.
Right, it's not necessarily set in stone.
Exactly. Number 3, if you're unsure about anything, ask for clarification. Talk to trusted friends or family, or, hey, even consider getting a quick legal review if it makes you feel more comfortable. A second set of eyes can help.
Good advice. And number 4.
Do your research. On the agent, specifically, check those reviews, ask for referrals. Due diligence is just as important for picking your agent as it is for picking your house.
Absolutely. And the overall vibe I got from the guide is that this agreement, when done right, should actually help the buyer protect them, not trap them.
That's the goal. It should empower you. It clarifies the relationship, sets expectations, and ensures you have someone dedicated to your interests in a huge financial decision. It should feel like a support, not a restriction.
So, wrapping up this deep dive then, we've hit the big points. Understanding the type of agreement, knowing the term, getting clear on commission, and knowing the agent's responsibility is all crucial stuff to grasp before signing anything.
And just keep in mind, this whole process, this agreement, it's ultimately there to safeguard you, the buyer, to make sure you have knowledgeable representation navigating the market.
Okay, final thought to leave everyone with. Now that you're equipped with all this insight, think about this. What are the top 3 absolute non-negotiables you will personally look for in your buyer representation agreement and in the agent you ultimately choose? Give that some real thought based on your own needs and priorities for buying a home.